Recent breaches and their effect on social expectations. The very next invention after the lock must have been the lockpick. Such is the nature of security. Locks get cut, picked, and forgotten to be locked. In this day and age, many of our locks are cyber in nature and guard some of our most private and irreplaceable possessions. They are portals into our homes almost to the extent as the locks on our front doors, except they can be picked from thousands of miles away in complete anonymity. Cyber criminals can break and enter into the devices that monitor our homes, so-called Internet of Things devices, or IoT devices. When they gain access and project themselves into our personal space, it can be just as frightening as if they were actually there. Some recent examples of such deeds reported in the media include a family's Ring camera that was hacked and used to hurl racial comments at a family in Florida, and another Ring camera hack just a few days later where the attacker terrorized an 8-year-old girl. In the case of the attack in Florida, the family endured the onslaught for 3 minutes until they eventually ripped the batteries out of the camera to stop it. During that time, the attacker referenced the family's 15-year-old son, who did not appear on the camera during the length of the attack, meaning he had been observing the family on more than one occasion. The company's response to them when they reported it was to simply reset their password, as it had been exposed in a separate breach of another database. The attack through the 8-year-old girl's camera was slightly more insidious, as it was in her bedroom as opposed to the living room, and the attacker pretended to be Santa Claus. The young girl asked, "Who is that?" after hearing his voice over the camera's speaker. He stated, "I'm Santa Claus. Don't you want to be my best friend?" She then screamed for her mother as he proceeded to play music and instructed her to mess up her room and break her television. It was unclear to the girl's mother how long he had been watching her and what he might have seen. Ring's response to the issue was simply that it was not due to a failure of their security. Incidents like these are not uncommon, and it begs the question, what is an acceptable level of security and privacy in this technological age? It seems there is a trade-off for us to enjoy all the recent technological wonders, and that is a certain amount of risk to our privacy and sense of security. We like being able to check on our dwellings through our cameras when we're not there. There's even an increased sense of security knowing our items are being watched over by us. We can know if there's danger through connected smoke alarms, and they can alert the fire department in moments, even when we're not there. We can look through our cameras in our connected refrigerators when we're at the grocery store to see if we forgot to get anything without having to make a trip back home. Motion sensors alert us if anyone is moving about our residences when we're not there. So there is a positive aspect to the technology, security-wise, that seems to balance out or overcome the negative aspects. Individually, we may be turned off to certain aspects of connectivity or devices specifically, but as a whole, we have not yet and may not reach the level of discomfort and insecurity that would cause a wholesale backlash against IoT devices. In response to incidents in the media like the ones mentioned earlier, we may put less cameras in the interior of our homes, or we may change from a wireless system to a more secure hardwired system, or we may change our passwords and update our firmware. But as of yet, we don't seem as a whole social entity to be anywhere near rejecting the connectivity and the possibility of attack because of the benefit involved in the tech. So could it be that we now expect the attacks will happen sometimes, and that is just part of the nature of our new world, and will bravely press on despite it? It appears so, and it seems to fit the pattern of every technological advance in society that has lasted. Something has been created with great benefit, There are negative aspects that may not be constant or universally effective. We may take the bad with the good and press on to the next frontier. Because these and other similar technologies are still developing and spreading, we will constantly be asking ourselves questions in the near ongoing future, such as, can I live with the fact that some things I do may be being monitored, listened to, or watched? Am I comfortable enough with the occasional cyber intrusion and or prank? Do I care if information gathered through these devices are exploited without my knowledge by criminals and corporations alike? And summarily, do the things I'm getting out of this tech outweigh the negatives as a whole? We will be answering these questions individually and together, slowly but surely, with our purchasing and participation habits in the years to come.